This is FM 94's Critics' Choice, and on the line with me now is Colin Moulding of XTC. Colin, where are you calling from?
We're at the offices of Geffen Records in Los Angeles.
XTC is still based in England. Is the town called Swindon?
Yes, we're all down in Swindon still, and really have felt no need to move away, really, because all our families are there, so it's pretty much a cottage industry, I guess you'd call it.
Swindon is an industrial town, right?
Well, it's more sort of it used to be a railway town, but now it's more of a, they used to make railway engines there, but now it's more of sort of a high-tech silicon chip town now, you know.
Do you think that living there affects the nature of some of your songs? Some of the band's songs are definitely escapist and stuff.
Yeah, it's bound to, really, you know, not only Swindon, but the countryside around it, and, you know, yeah, it's bound to, really. That's all I can say, really. It's all the influences of your family and where you live and, you know, who you go to work with or who you worked with, and just, you know, everyday instances. We're all pretty normal guys, you know, and we live normal family existences, and it's what we write about, you know.
The last time we heard from XTC was with the Skylarking album and a single called Dear God, which sparked a bit of controversy. How did the band members feel about the reaction to the song?
Well, very pleased that it got some attention, you know, and it's obviously, well, it's pretty upsetting when people get upset about one of the songs, but it's just one person's point of view, and all I can say is that whoever was upset about the content of the song, is, you know, all I can say is it's Andy's point of view, and you know, you shouldn't take it too seriously, and you've obviously got a different point of view, and never the twain shall meet, you know.
Now, the album that song was on, Skylarking, it was originally issued without the song Dear God, and then the LP was reissued with the song. Are you glad that that was done?
Well, I couldn't believe it myself, because I said to Andy, you know, this song should be on the record, and I thought it should have been a single, which, you know, in hindsight it was, but yeah, he said he didn't think he put over the subject matter as honed down as what it should be, you know, and he didn't rate it at all, and I said, you know, it should go on the record, and it wasn't. So all I can say is I had faith in it, and he didn't. But, you know, it did its stuff in the end.
Have you heard the song by Midge Ure that shares the title?
I've not heard the song. I know of its existence, and I'm not. From what I've heard, you know, from what people say, it's not along the same line, is it? I mean,
no,
if you know more,
it sort of sugarcoats the issue, as it were.
Yeah.
XTC is getting ready to issue a new double album. It's going to be called Oranges and Lemons, and at this point that we're talking, I've only heard the single, Mayor of Simpleton. That's all that's arrived here at the radio station. What can you tell us about the forthcoming double album, Oranges and Lemons?
Well, that it's released on the 27th of this month, and it's got 15 songs, and it's on 2 pieces of plastic over 4 sides. Namely because, you know, we could have got 15 songs on just one bit of plastic, but it was advisable that we could put it over 2 because the fidelity level and all that, you know. And the songs are, you know, it's different from the last one. It's less pastoral. It's more. Some of them are up tempo, some of them are slow. I guess there's a mishmash of all different styles, and there's Mark Isham plays on the record, famous foreign player, you know, and it's a good package. Please go out and buy it, because, you know, when you get into the album, you'll like it even more.
We're talking to Colin Moulding tonight of XTC. Colin, you have a trio of compositions on this package, I'm told. One of the Millions, Cynical Days, and King for a Day. And it's been said that your songs are a bit darker compared to Andy's songs. Any reason for that?
Yes, I'm a miserable bastard at times, I guess. Well, what can you say? The last songs that I wrote on Skylarking, I suppose, could have been construed as being jolly and optimistic. This time round, they're not so optimistic. They're downright miserable in places, and the next ones will be different still. What can I say? It's I guess it's just the time that they were written, and they were probably written at a very down point.
Now, Andy's songs have been described, and really the album as a whole has been said it has a nursery rhyme quality. Andy had a couple of kids recently. Do you have a family in England?
Yes, I do. Yes, I've got a 14-year-old son, believe it or not, folks. Yes, I started early and got into it really early, and I'm really into the family thing now, and, I've got a wonderful family and proud of them,
I understand that pretty much on every successive album, XTC has had a new drummer added. Who's the drummer this time around on Oranges and Lemons?
Well, it's a guy called Pat Mastelotto. He drummed he's still drumming with Mr. Mister. I think they've just recently lost their guitarist, but they're still making records, and they're going to have a record out real soon. And he's a good drummer, and we got to know him through our producer, Paul Fox, who produced the record, and it was a good package because, Paul's a good producer and Pat's a good drummer, and, we enjoyed working in America and making the record in Los Angeles, and we really had a good time, and the results are really good.
After the success of Skylarking, why did XTC choose not to keep Todd Rundgren as a producer this time?
Good question. I think... namely, Andy really didn't hit it off with Todd. I think probably Todd's really the only real producer that we've had. I think all the other producers have probably had Andy as a sort of an overseer of what they were doing. And Todd's from the old school. He likes to do things his way, and if you appoint him as the producer, then you've got to do it his way. And I guess that didn't really crack it with Andy, and I was well happy to be produced, you see, but Andy's not at all happy about being produced, so it's going to be friction, and there was, but the result was good because Todd had a pretty good vision of how the album should be, and I think Andy would testify for it being one of our better records.
Who has Paul Fox worked with in the past? How did you hook up with him?
Well, he did a single with Boy George, which we liked. We liked the production on it. Didn't go much on the song much, but we thought that the production, what he did, he more or less sort of took Boy George's vocal and virtually re-recorded the song around it. And we thought what he did was really good. And he'd also worked with Yes as well. And he's a good session guy, a great keyboard player, and he's a young up-and-coming producer, and yes, we were glad to work with him, and the Virgin Records put us onto him because they said he's going to be a big guy. So we thought we'll go with him then. We met him down in Swindon, and he came down, and we really liked the guy. We all went out and got drunk, and that was it, really.
Another year's gone by.
We're speaking with Colin Moulding of XTC. Colin, the members of XTC have released 2 albums under the psychedelic guise of the Dukes of Stratosphear. Is that side project going to continue? The albums have been great.
Well, no, I think that's really it from the Dukes, really. The Dukes of Stratosphear are really joining the ranks of XTC, because I think this latest record of XTC's is probably, what the Dukes would have done had they carried on making records up until 1989,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the alter ego has joined forces with the ego, and they're as one now. But no, I think the joke's been told, and everybody laughed, and now it's over, I think. The part is over, folks.
Well, I'd suggest to people that would like to hear the Dukes to pick up the compact disc, which compiles both of the records. It's a fine package. What about the video medium? You had a lot of success with the video for Dear God. What are the plans for video representation of Oranges and Lemons?
Well, Well, we've just done a video for the Mayor of Simpleton, the latest single, and that's a sort of a 60s concept. Are you familiar with English detective series called The Avengers?
Oh, of course.
Yes, well, it's just more or less the concept taken to the extreme. It's got the closing sequences of what was the Avengers idea. You know, lots of silhouetted girls in leather suits and bowler hats and stuff, and just a good fun video. And, you know, the guys in a row on stools playing guitars as pop groups should do, you know.
The forthcoming album from XTC is a double album. It's called Oranges and Lemons, and it's your second double album of the 80s. XTC is unquestionably a prolific band. Any idea as to why?
Well, Andy writes a lot of songs, basically. I don't write so many. I guess I tend to think too much rather than do it, you know. But he's a talented guy, and, you know, he writes a lot of songs, and he obviously wants to air those songs to everybody, and that's partly why we've got 15 songs on the album. But that's good, because, you know, the more stuff we get out, then it's bound to be good.
Well, in 1982, XTC quit touring. Do you think that has an effect on the fact that you do a lot of studio work?
Well, it leaves us more time to write songs, and you know, had we not had the good songs coming from Andy and hopefully from me, then, you know, we wouldn't be where we are.
Well, what I've read is that essentially the group stopped touring because Andy was very against it. How do you feel about that? It's been a good 7 years since XTC has taken its act on the road.
Well, initially I didn't mind stop touring. It allowed me more time with my family, but I think my wife said, you know, I'm really getting on her nerves being at home, so I think she's going to boot me out to go on tour. But it's all down to Andy, really. I mean, I think me and Dave would probably tour tomorrow if he just said the word, but you know, it's no good if you're going to get ill through it, you know, and he was really having a hard time at the time that he said he wanted to stop, so, you know, we certainly can't tour without him. You know, he's the reason why we're here, really, in any case. And you know, I'm quite happy to just carry on making records. It's certainly what I enjoy doing the most. You know, so it's the arrangement is not ideal, but it's certainly it's okay.
Well, I'm sure the question has arisen, what with the new double album coming out, is there any chance for an XTC tour? Has Andy indicated one way or the other whether he might be willing to go on the road behind this record?
I don't think there's any chance, really, of us going out on tour again. I think Andy's probably reached a mental block on the subject, and, you know, he never really enjoyed it anyway, and I can't say that I did totally. But what strikes me, what's disappointing, is that at the time we had pretty insensitive management, and they virtually kept us out on the road permanently just to earn easy cash, and now we could probably tour the way we want to, and, you know, just do the gigs that we want to, and it would be a lot, we could tour at our leisure, so to speak, so they would be a lot better now. But I don't know, probably the years that we did tour probably poisoned Andy permanently, you know.
Well, I would hope at least there could be a one-off performance, perhaps it would be filmed so that people could see the band in action. That would be nice.
You never know, you know, he may come round one day and say, hey, let's do a couple of gigs, you know. It's a possibility, I guess.
Well, Colin, good luck with the new double album from XTC, Oranges and Lemons. We're already hearing the first single, Mayor of Simpleton, here in Austin, Texas on KLBJ, and we hope to see you sometime. Okay,
well, it's nice to talk to you, Austin, and, you know, I hope we see each other again in some format.
Okay, Colin, take care.
Okay, Jody, thanks. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.